before I start this review, guys, I just want to give you what my ideas and thoughts would have been for a Fantastic Four reboot, considering how great this one was. Anyway, let me know in the comments below what you think, and here we go. My idea would be that the first act of the film stays very similar to the way it did, not the way they conceptualized it, but an origin story nonetheless, and the second act is where it would change a lot. My idea was that Johnny goes on a mission and he has to go and save a hospital that's under fire and attack. Unfortunately, he does save a lot of people, but he ends up blowing up the hospital and killing a lot of civilians and patients. Now the government enlists Sue, Reed and Ben to go and stop him. They know that he's not that kind of person and that this whole change hasn't altered his mind because they have had no side effects in mentally wise. So the government has asked them to go and find him. He's very secluded right now, he's scared, he doesn't know what to do. So they go find him, they bring him back, the government finds out it was just a complete accident, so they have to cover it up. The third act is where Doom comes back into it from the origin story part, and the Fantastic Four have to go and defeat Doom. So those are three basic acts of the film. I still feel it would have been better than what they gave us. Anyway, to the review. Let's just start with the kids, because I actually felt the kids were some of the best parts of the film. The first 10 minutes, they added a lot of life to the film, and then it got drained away by everything else. 2, and this is bad now. That's it, that is good. That's all of it. How are Miles Teller and Jamie Bell meant to be 19-year-olds? Maybe 20-year-olds, let's push it, 20-year-olds. No. That's just ridiculous. How do they think? I thought when they cast them, like, alright, they're not going to be like 35 or 40. They're going to cast them as 25, 30-year-olds. They cast them as 20-year-olds. That's not even... Whoever came up with that idea should be sacked from Fox. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There was terrible CGI in this film. The Human Torch looked awful. I can't remember what the original Fantastic Four was, but I'm thinking that the original Fantastic Four from 2005 may have had better CG for the Human Torch than what they used in this film, which is shocking. Doom looked awful as well. Now, from the previous one, I thought it looked bad anyway, and this looked even worse. It seems like there was like 30 minutes of the film that is just unused that needed to be there to make this film make sense, because there was a lot of patching together for yourself. There just wasn't enough payoff in this film as well. Like, the first 50 minutes of the film, there was no superhero powers involved, and there was no superheroing till like the last 15 minutes of the film anyway. There were no action scenes. I don't actually see how they used a $120 million budget on this film. It's one of the worst uses of money I've seen, and one of the worst big budget films I've seen in my life. Franklin Storm was a highlight of the film. He probably had the most character development, and you know, you actually felt for his character, him loving his children. Apart from that, there was no character development in this film, apart from the slight relationship between Ben Grimm and Reed Richards. There was that. I think the fact that they had that children's scene at the beginning really pushed that forward, but it wasn't great chemistry, it was just decent chemistry between the two of them. Now onto this point, there was a ton of footage in the trailers, and the trailers looked good. I thought the trailers looked pretty decent, apart from Doom, and there was so much footage in those trailers that were not in the film. I don't know why. I think this film was so bad, you should have just added those action beats in, because it couldn't have made it any worse. I honestly do not understand the concept between who edited this film, because they have done a terrible job. I mean, the acting wasn't great. They mailed in their performances so badly. And not all of the blame can also go on Josh Trank. For many reasons, when initially he signed his contract, they were like, he was like, this is the way I want to go with this, and apparently they didn't want that route after they'd started filming. And this is just speculation and a rumor, but apparently the last half of the film, he wasn't allowed to touch it in terms of editing. You can't blame this fully on Josh Trank. If you watch Chronicle, he had great character development, he had great action, he had great CGI. I think for a low budget film, I would watch Chronicle over this any day of the week. Any day of the week. But to my review of this film, now, I didn't like Terminator Genisys at all, and I didn't do a review on it because I didn't want to bash the film. And I would have given that film a terrible 3.5 out of 10. But I preferred that film to this. So I'm going to give this a terrifying 2.5 out of 10. Now, if you do agree with me, please do like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel down here. If you don't, well, you should. You should agree with me. I'm joking. Film is subjective. You all have an opinion. But do like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel down here anyway. Now, I have been Narendra the Comic. You have been great. And I'll see you next time. Skadoosh.